Hello everyone. While I'm waiting for the used GPU prices to come down a little bit more, as 4070 was introduced with $600 MSRP and you can find it almost in any shop, so there is very low demand for it, but it more or less matched the performance of 3080. So by my assumptions, the prices for the used one, especially 3080, should come down a little bit more. So I decided to make a video where we'll discuss which 4070 we should buy. Doesn't matter new or like after several months a used one, based on their cooling performance, their component base, their size, all the parameters of the card. So I make this chart in which I included all the GPUs which were available in Tech Power Up forum. Also I used Guru 3D for some temperature monitoring, which they use the FLIR camera to capture, to see if some components is getting hotter than they should be compared to other ones. And this Excel sheet will be updated when the new reviews will come out. For example, I couldn't find any Gigabyte cards details to include here, but for the start, that's, I think, pretty much is enough for us. So what we have here is the Asus cards, Game World card, Galax, MSI, Nvidia, PNY, and Palette. And as almost everything is in stock with MSRP prices, and even there is a rumor that some price is going to drop around like $50 in a couple of weeks. So if anybody wants DLSS 3 and AV1 encoder, which is not available in 3080, and you want to buy only new cards, and this 3080 new ones are priced very high, there is very few left, I think this is your option to choose. So now let's see what I made here. So it's obvious, the brand name, the models, the price, at least at the launch, but as I said, they can change, and obviously not to the high side but to the low side. The GPU temperature with the stock fan profile, normalized GPU temperature, memory temperature, component cooling, this includes the VRM and the VRM chokes, noise level at the stock fan curve, the size, weight, power limit, quantity of phases, and which component VRM they use, and the power connector, which I think at this size of card and for which will be used in the small cases could be also deciding factor. So here, by analyzing all the data, I can make your life easier, just if you don't want to watch all the video till the end. If you have enough room in your case and you don't mind paying extra $50 for much quieter operation, then go for the Asus 480 TUF. It has good temperature, very good component base cooling, very low noise, decent power limit compared to the stock 200 watts, high quantity of phases, good components, and 8-pin connector. But my personal favorite one is the Asus 4070 Dual. MSRP price, not so hot, a little bit hot on the memory side, but the memory is the same memory as it was used in 4090. The same GDDR6 memory was used 3090. They were reaching like 100 degrees, and still after 3 years they're still working. So 72 degrees shouldn't be that much. It's completely normal. Like for me, even 80 degrees for the memory is a normal temperature, so I wouldn't pay that much of attention on it. Good component cooling. There is only the cooling for the some VRM chokes is missing, but again, they are designed to run hot and they will be cooled by the air coming through the radiator. Noise level is reasonable. You can again tune it. You can like increase your temperature of the GPU to 65 and decrease the noise level below 30. Size is pretty compact one, decent quantity of phases, good components, again 8 pin. So both I will not buy even the used one, I will just turn these two cards. Both MSIs, especially the Ventus 3, but the Gaming X3 also. Now I'll show you why. Let's first go to the Ventus. Let's see the cooler here and here. So here you can see the VRM and VRM chocks. Only the VRM has a contact with the radiator. Chocks again cooled by the air coming through the fins. But we have 1, 2, 3. One of them is for the GPU and other two for the memory. None of them, at least the VRM chips, has a contact with the radiator. No thermal pads. And as Guru 3D found, now let's look it here. This is only one which was captured, 96.5. Yeah, they can be designed to run even on hotter temperatures, but like, why I have to buy the card which don't have any cooling and running on the close to the maximum limits, and I have no guarantees how long it will last, when there is, with the same price, I can buy a card which doesn't have this issue. So I'll skip this one. At least 3 VRM chips is not cooled down. Plus the second one, X3. These use Alpha Omega chips, AOZ, which by the statistics of repair shop which I'm following in the YouTube, has much higher probability of going bad. So by the statistics I will skip this manufacturer ones, but there is no guarantee what the manufacturer of the GPU like MSI after several months would not shift to one of the other components. So there is no guarantee for this, as I usually found, especially like in 3080 which I was buying, the Intec Power was used like NCP components, but the card which I purchased was used on the SIG. So they are changing it without notifying the end user, and you cannot find out until you will turn down. But at least at this moment, when we see that the moment of production they are using AOZ, I will skip that one. That's one minus for the Gaming X. Now the second minus. This is the board, and this is the cooler. The same design, same, only some VRM added here, and that's it. The layout and these two connectors for the fan. But again, they have 1, 2, 3. They put it here, this small metal piece, to have contact at least for 2, 1, 2, and when there is for the third one. Can you see it here? I cannot. So again, even though this is the FLIR camera for Gaming X3, it's not visible here the temperature, because the backplate is covering it, but you definitely know that it's there and it's very toasty. This one is not being cooled. There is nothing here, even though it is very good cooler, but again, not so bad AOZ component base. But again, I put the bed because at least it's cooling 2 out of 3, which were missing here. So this is missing 3 VRM cooling, this is missing only 1. So that's why it's very bad, this is bad. Otherwise, if they put something here to cool the third one, and maybe not use the AOZ, I will say. But again, another factor. Why to put 12 pin connector there? Make everybody's life more difficult. Even though it's not a small card, so I don't think that anybody will be using it like NR200 case or similar like mini ITX cases, but still, it has a decent temperature, especially normalized. You can see it's coming second place after the TUF, but again, same price, then no meaning. completely no meaning, unless you like the design, but like with so many minuses, only the design doesn't work. Like buy the card which doesn't cool the VRM and have like AOZ alpha omega component, which is not so reliable. So these two I will skip, doesn't matter new or used. Now let's look the other cards. GameWorld. So GameWorld, it's a nice compact card similar to Asus Dual, but again, a lower power limit, lower quantity of phases, higher noise level, very high temperature, so you don't have much room to lower this noise. You will go to 80s when you will decrease this, try to decrease it to like 32, 33. So no meaning. Compare this one to this is losing. Next one, Galaxy. And also they have a similar component cooling. Let's watch this one. This one is a longer card. It's more comparable to the TUF, even though it's again coming with $600. It's a white, if somebody needs a white card. But again, normal temperatures and normalized, a little bit worse. Memory is very good, again good component compared to this one, but noise on a high side. And here temperatures, you have much less room again. If you will go to 70s, maybe you can achieve 30 dBA. And similar power limit, similar quantity, but again a red tag. Again, this is the bet. So same price with dual, but higher noise, worse component. Again, why to buy this? Only for white one. Here we go. It's not pure white, but at least there is some white color in it. You can get this one, it will be similar to this one. So we're skipping this one too. Now the Foundry Edition. Foundry Edition, again 600, is the most compact card. I don't know if there is such cases which cannot fit 267 and you have to go for 240. Only in that case I see the meaning buying the Founders Edition. It has worse temperature compared to the Dual, memory same, worse cooling. I will say why now, just a moment. Let's watch here. So the component base cooling. Now the Asus one. See in comparison what I'm talking about. Here. So this is the cooling for the VRM chips. This is the contact for the chucks. Well, the memory is the same, even though there is no memory chips here, but they still put the pads. Okay. Here only the VRM chips is cooling. Here also they have 3 dots for VRM chips, but this one at least has a cooling for the main VRM chucks. This one only for the VRM. And this is a solid metal, so no, very few air is reaching the chucks. The same here. We cool the VRM, but the chokes is exposed to the air which is coming through the fins, and somehow it's cooled. Here again, like almost no air coming to the chokes. It will look like here. That's what I'm talking about. So these ones, they designed to run very hot, and inside of it there is only the copper or metal, so nothing to burn. But again, the temperature of this is affecting the temperature of the board, and then the temperature of the board affecting the memory, the GPU, everything. So if you can cool these ones, it's a plus. So these ones almost not receiving any air, this has a direct contact with the radiator. This one I showed that they are at least exposed to the air coming through the fins. So this one is much better than this one. So if you can squeeze in your case the Asus Dual, I strongly recommend doing it instead of buying the Founders Edition. Plus it will be more silent, no 12 pin connectors, which again, I don't know if somebody will like it. And also only 6 phases instead of 8, and this is like not a meaningful increase. So again, I see only for that people who cannot fit to 67 and they need shorter card or slimmer card. So dimensions, this is the only factor. I will do it like this. If you need smallest card, then obviously you better go with this one. PNY. Okay, let's watch the PNY. It looks like a Dual, similar dimensions, a little bit smaller even, same price, higher temperature, again worse component cooling, memory is the same, normalized temperature is much worse, so the noise will be higher if you want to decrease it. The rest is the same, and no power limit. You're getting just the base 200. So if you want to overclock, forget about it. No, I mean you can overclock, but this one can overclock with more. At least has more power limit. Again, let's watch what I'm talking. So if you remember, the Asus one here, they have a contact for the chokes also. This one only for the VRM chips, 1, 2, 3. So no contact for the chokes. That's why I put the OK cooling. This Dual has a contact for the front chokes. And also the Duals and TUF, if you will look their boards, they are same board. So it's like we are getting the higher tier board with lower price, just giving up 2 phases, which is not needed for this kind of card, which is hardly pulling like 200 watts. So even like if Founder Edition using 6 and this 8 or 10 doesn't make much of a difference. So we're getting higher tier card with the 50% discount and giving up just a little bit on the temperature on the memory, which I'm saying that even till 80 I'm pretty comfortable. I run 3080 which use same GDDR6 memory, maybe the different model, but the memory itself is a GDDR6 X memory, and they are running 76, 77, and working pretty okay. And I know that some miners was running that chips close to 100 degree for years. So again, no meaning buying the PNY. Now the Palit one. It's a big card. It's a tall card. The dimensions even bigger than the tough one. It's a longer one. Again, no power limit. 6 phases. Okay, component cooling again. Why I put okay, even though this one you can see it's cooled the chokes, but this metal piece, which is screwed to the radiator, has lower heat dissipation than if this one was directly at the contact with the radiator. So I cannot put them equal to the Dual or TUF. That's why I put okay. Temperatures are similar, better than the Asus. Normalized, it's worse. As you can see, the noise is between these two models. Price also between. But taking into account this okay-ish component cooling, no power limit, 6 phases, I don't see meaning. Just save you 20 bucks, get this one. And you will be able to reach the similar level of noise, I'm pretty sure. Or pay $30 more, get even better one without any these downsides. And the last one, PNY XLR8. It's again by the size is competitor to the TUF. Has much higher temperature than even the Dual. Normalized is the same. Memory is higher. Component cooling put good, so I assume it's, yeah, you see it's a direct contact with the radiator for the chucks, and this one's only the VRM chips. The chucks is being cooled by the air, so they are comparable in this term. Much quiet operation, again no power limit headroom, and similar quantity to the Dual and less than it, and that's 650. Which one you will get? I think the answer is obviously this one. So by analyzing this data, I can say that at this moment when you can get any 4070, there is, if something is out of stock, then that's the issue, not with the demand but with the supply. Something happened or they didn't ship as much as it was ordered by the shop, but it's definitely not the demand case, because there is very low demand for these cards, especially for this price. $499, okay. 600, 650, just forget about it. At least for me, for my channel, where I'm trying to bring the value to every dollar spent. So even now, I will go buy 3080 for $400, 10 gigabyte. I can find 12 gigabyte for $450. I will save, but plus you have to pay taxes for these ones. So you will save $200, $250, which you can use and upgrade. It will be free upgrade for your CPU. So which is better, buying the similar performance of the card, just a new one, or buy the used one and upgrade your CPU to something like, for 200 you can get like from AMD like 5800 X3D if you are a gamer, or you can get like 5900X again in the used market. From Intel you can get 1270, 1260. So there is a lot of option for the upgrade, or spending $200, $250 in your PC instead of buying these ones new. And so what? Just you can wait a little bit, use your old GPUs for several months, then these ones will come to the used market and they will be like $100, $150 cheaper than the current prices, and you are just saving $100, $150 by waiting like 2 months, 3 months. Because now 470 Ti, I already seeing people selling for $650, $700 and good cards with good cooling, with good component base. At least I saw like during this month and half, I saw 4 people selling with that prices in OfferUp, which I can easily buy. I saw like 4080 selling $950 even. So people buying, paying, excited, then they're realizing that they are not getting that much, they're having some financial issues, they need some money, and then they just dumping that cards cheap. So no meaning, like let these cards somebody to use it like 2 months and then resell it to me for $150 less. Of course I will buy it, and then we'll sell one of you with the same price. But now I don't see the meaning. If you need AV1, only that. DLSS3, I'm not that confident in that technology at this point, as I can play almost any game which I need, which exists in the market with 12 gigabyte 3080 without any issue. Why? It's not like I'm getting 20 FPS and I need the DLSS3 to double my performance and make game playable. So if game playable, I don't care. If it's 40 or 65, 70 FPS, for me, I don't care. And I'm not going to pay $200, $250 more just to have that DLSS3, which is even not so smooth in all games. So some games you can use it, in other games you cannot use it. And before finishing, let's watch the Guru 3D, what cards they have. So I saw this one, but this is instantly dead on arrival. $150 more for 4%. You can get 47 Ti. So no meaning. It's a huge card and nothing special. Temperatures, nothing special. You can get tough, better temperature, $100 less. This is the GameWorld Panther. I don't know why they put this name. Of the German tanks. Okay, so this is assumption. SB 650, maybe 675. Bigger than tough. Again, no meaning. We don't know the components, we don't know nothing, but we know that the tough using everything is good. So no room for improvement. This is enough. This is one of the best. Power limit, I don't think that the GameWorld will put like 250 for somebody. It's very good. Cooling the components. Noise is dead silent. So, else, I don't know these cards. They look, at least for me, not so attractive. And they are not going to be like $100 cheaper than 600 to make it any meaning going with this card instead of dual. And I highly doubt that they will use or 8 phases, or like they will have good component cooling, or the noise will be that much. In the palette, we look their cards. We look the Jetstream, the dual Gaming Pro maybe, but again it will be more expensive than the $599. So again, there is a tough option for this. These ones, colorful, nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. This one could be comparable, could be to the tough, but again, when we know the tough has everything which we think is good, everything is, so what's the point? It should be at least equal to the tough rating in all lines, and only in that case somebody will say, you know, maybe I liked this design better than the tough, so I wanna buy it. Or this is ultra, and it's not clear which one is which. But again, like if the top design you don't like, maybe only in that case. But paying 700, 800, it's a nonsense. And water cooling for this card again is nonsense. It's a 200 watts card. It's you can dead silent. And again, the design, if you like it, but again we have to check the components base. At least this one we have in our chart, the Ghost. It's too noisy, too hot. So that's it. At this moment, if somebody wants to buy new, or I don't know, has some gift card from the shops which they need to use, or somebody wants to buy you as a gift, just ask to or dual or tough one. until I will get more data from Gigabyte ones. So that's one of the major manufacturers which I don't see in the reviews. This is our final chart at this moment, and more info will be published. This chart will be updated and it will be in the description, so I will update it. You can open up and check and see what's changed, what's haven't changed, what's going on in the market. And I will try to do similar one for 4070 Ti, 4080 maybe, and some new cards will be introduced in the market from AMD, from Nvidia, to help you guys to make the choice, because usually when there is so high supply, when you can buy almost everything and everything is in stock, you have to buy only the best. That times, at least when you buying whichever is available, is gone. So now you have put your money into the right products. And again, follow this channel where I find only the best deals. I buy them, bring them to the brand new condition, then resell to one of my subscribers with the same price as I pay for it. And I pay for the shipping in the US, but I can ship it to all over the world. Like I ship already 3070 to Venezuela. And the guy got that card for $80. It's amazing. You can imagine he couldn't believe it, but that's the reality. So in next series, maybe I will buy 3070 for 250. I'm now currently in the negotiations with the owner. We'll see. So tell me, will you get 3070 FE for 250, or you will pay almost twice more for 4070? I understand it has 12 gigabytes of memory, but like at this moment of time, at these games which is available in the market, I can pretty sure manage my settings to be able to play almost all games with decent frame rates with 3070. If it was the case that everybody have to buy 4070 to be able to play all the game, then none of the below tier cards will be sold. But like we can see that 600 XT is being sold very good now. Why? It says 8 GB because of the price. But again, if you're paying $250 for 6600 XT, you can get used 3070 from me for 3070. Which one you will choose? Or the last series there was 3060 Ti FE 220. Again, the guy bought that card, pretty happy. He doesn't care about 4070. He can play almost all games. Not 4K, but 1440p. Or if you use DLSS, you can play maybe 4K too. So this is all about the value. This channel is about the value. Value in everything. Especially when the economy is going down, you have to value your hard working money even more. You cannot just go and throw that money to the manufacturers to make them rich. And if we will value our money, our time spent to earn that money, the prices at this moment wouldn't be 600 for this card. They will realize that nobody will pay 600 for this, and they will introduce this card for at least 500. But they saw that a lot of people was buying the cards with whichever prices exist. They decided to give it a shot. But now I guess they are going to back up, at least for this one, for $50. There is a rumor, so if you want to buy a new one, just hold on a couple of weeks. They might go down $50, they might go down $100. Only time will tell. But now, if you need short card, Asus 4070 Dual. If you need super silent card, you have plenty of space, you want some beautiful looking card, the tough. That's my recommendation. Thank you, and see you in the next one.